was recently asked this question as to how we can stop feeling desperate. Desperate to have something to work out in a particular way, desperate for having something that is missing currently in our life to help us feel happy or secure in our current reality, a desperate need for something that is currently missing in our life. And that is exactly what we are going to discuss in today's video. Hi guys, this is Danya Ashokan and welcome to another video of Finding Home in Yourself. The way we are planning to structure today's video is that we'll begin with trying to understand what exactly is this feeling of desperation, why it occurs, and then we'll move on to understand 5 powerful reminders that can help you feel much more secure in the way your life is currently progressing and in your current reality, and then a powerful process that you can use to overcome and move beyond your feeling of desperation. So let's get started. Oh God. We had to move inside because there was a lot of disturbance in the place that we were sitting previously. But let's continue with today's video. Desperation, the way I understand this, we feel desperate when we are hopeless about how things are going on in a particular situation and we perceive it to be something really bad and we feel that it is just impossible to deal with it. And because of this perception, we feel that something else needs to happen in a very particular way so that we can feel much more safer or secure in that particular reality. And because we want the situation to change so desperately, we channel all of our energy into resisting this particular situation, leaving us feeling drained, victimized, and tired. But worry not, because now we are going to look at a few reminders that can help you feel much more secure in your current reality and in the way your life is progressing. The first reminder is that what is meant for you will not pass you by. Now, this doesn't mean that we are not going to take any actions towards our goals. Instead, this just means that we are feeling very secure about the actions we are taking towards progressing towards our goals. We are feeling very secure about our worthiness, about having that particular desires that we have, and we truly believe that we are enough, we do enough, we have enough, and we are enough. And if it's truly meant for you, it will not pass you by. Now, the key word here is that if it is meant for you, because if it's not meant for you, no matter how hard we try, we will not be able to keep it with ourselves. We will not be able to hold on to it. But if it's meant for us, no matter how freely we let it fly, it'll always find its way back towards us. So that is the first reminder. So the next time you find yourself getting really desperate or really wanting to have something to work on in a particular way, take a step back, remember that you're a divine child, you are one with the source, and remind yourself, what is meant for me will not pass me by. And then just choose to believe. The second reminder is that the universe's plans for you or God's plans for you are always much more greater than any plan that you can form based on your limited perspective or your limited understanding of things. Let me explain. So this means that if things don't go exactly the way I was planning it to go, or if things don't go exactly the way that I was intending it to go, then I would just take a step back and remind myself that God's plans are much more greater than my own plans for myself. So if things are not going in a particular way that I was planning, then I say, because I know that now God is intervening. Now I know that the universe is now trying to push me in a particular direction because the universe has found out a particular way, a much better way than I had planned it. So the second reminder is that the universe's plan is always much more beautiful, much more perfect for me than my own plan. So with this reminder, I'll just detach myself from this feeling of desperation and keep moving on with faith. The third reminder is more of an affirmation for myself. Sometimes in life, when I feel confused or lost, I just use this powerful affirmation to remind myself to let go of this feeling of desperation. And the affirmation is that I am always at the right place at the right time doing the right things. You can also affirm this in the chat below. I am always at the right place at the right time doing the right things. And this really helps in instilling a sense of peace and clarity within my mind and a feeling of security knowing that I'm always at the right place at the right time doing the right things. I don't know how, but somehow whatever I'm doing right now is the right thing that I'm meant to do at this particular time. And I always trust that. And sometimes in life when I feel very lost or very confused, I repeat this affirmation to myself. And this is one of my favorite affirmations. And this also helps me get connected back into the present moment and focus on the things that I can control and take those actions with faith and keep going. And the fourth reminder is that everything is within God and God is within you. So imagine whatever you are desiring, whatever may that be, it already exists. The essence of it already exists within the universe, within God, and God is within you. And if God is within you, then you need not have this feeling of insecurity at all, right? Because the source or the God is now guiding you, showing you the way and leading your way. And when God in itself is leading our way, then there is nothing that we need to be scared about, right? But suppose your desire is to have a particular amount as your bank balance, then just know that that amount already exists within this universe, within God, within source, and you're connected to the same source. So you're already connected to your desires, you're already connected to that amount, you're already connected to your desired partner or your desired friend or desired relationships or your desired health condition. You're already connected to all of that through your source. So we need not pursue anything outside. All that we desire already exists within your source, within God, and that God is within you. So suppose if your desire is to have a bank balance of about $1 billion, there are many people in this world right now who have that kind of bank balance. And if there are so many people who are able to have that, and it's all coming from the same source, so if they can have it, then you can definitely have it. And even if there is no one else in the world who already has it, in your mind, if you can visualize it, then you will be able to create it in your reality. There are so many people who have invented so many amazing things in the world, and all of that happened, I believe, is because of their connection to the divine, because it's all coming from the same divine intelligence, from the same source. If you can visualize it in your mind, then you will be able to create it, because you are the one who got that visual, that image that you need, and the desire to create that in your reality. If that desire was placed in your heart, it was placed in your heart for a reason. Believe that and choose to have that faith and take action from that faith. Take action from that feeling of inspiration and not desperation. Know that everything exists within the source, within God, and God exists within you. And that will help you feel much more secure. And the fifth reminder is that your desires were placed in your heart for a reason. Let me ask you this question. How did you get your desire? You got your desire because that is something that life has caused you to ask for, right? And if for some reason life has caused you to ask for a particular desire, then please remember that the same source can also guide you through the process of bringing it to fruition. So the fifth reminder is that if a desire was placed in your heart, it was placed in your heart for a reason. It was placed in your heart because you were meant to bring it to fruition. So choose to believe that. Now with these 5 reminders, we look at a very powerful process that you can use to overcome and move beyond your feeling of desperation. The first step in the process is to try to understand why you are feeling desperate. Understand the underlying need that is causing you to have this feeling of desperation. So for example, it could be that you're desperate for a job because you believe that this job will provide you with an opportunity or a balanced way of exchanging value with this world. Or it could be that you're desperate for more money because you believe that money will allow you to take better care of yourself and take care of your needs and take care of the needs of your loved ones and so on. Or it could be a desperate need to have better health because you believe that better health will enable you to do a lot of other things that you want to do. Or it could be a desperate need to have a particular person in your life, a partner or a friend or a particular relationship, so that you feel much more loved and secure in your reality. Now whatever may be the reason that is making you feel desperate, in this step, we'll try to understand what is the underlying need that is causing us to feel desperate. Once you understand the underlying need, then we'll get ready and move on to the second step in the process. So the second step in the process is for you to accept that it's okay for you to have the particular need. A lot of the times we tend to judge ourselves for feeling desperate to have that particular need, or we judge the need in itself because we think that it is not okay for you to have that need. But know that as a part of our life experience or as a part of being a student in the school of life, it's okay for us to have needs. And all of these needs are something that life has caused us to ask for. So it's okay for us to have those needs. It's okay for us to have those desires. And as long as we are not harming anyone else, it's perfectly okay for us to have those desires. So the second step in the process is to just stop judging ourselves for having this particular need and just accepting ourselves for having these needs. Once you have fully accepted yourself for having this particular need, that is when you are ready to move into the third step of the process. The third step in the process is for you to get detached on how you want this particular need to be fulfilled in your life. Sometimes when we have a particular need, we get really attached about the how or the channel through which the need should get fulfilled. But it is not a very worthwhile use of our energy to get attached to a particular channel. Instead, we can just focus on the needs. So, for example, if we have a desire for a particular job, instead of getting really attached to one particular employer, leave it open. Get detached from the channel. Allow the divine to provide it to you through the best possible channel by surrendering with the prayer saying that divine, this is what I desire, but show me how can it get better. And then just get detached. Allow the universe to figure out the channel, the how of how it needs to be delivered to you. So get detached from the channel. It could be that you want to have a particular person as your friend or a particular person as your partner. Again the same thing. Instead of getting attached about that one particular person or that one particular employer or that one particular situation, get detached and allow the universe to work out things in a way that reflects the highest good of all. So if you find yourself getting really obsessed about one particular channel, just question yourself, is this really the only possible channel through which it can come? No, right? There are an infinite number of possibilities of how things can get delivered to you. So get detached and know that whatever your needs are will get provided for as long as you choose to believe. So choose to believe and take action from faith and continue to progress with faith. Your higher self already knows the best way for you and is leading you from inside. So continue to take actions from faith and then just keep going. And you know what? When do we get attached to a particular channel? It's usually when we are feeling inferior to something else, to a particular job or a particular brand or a particular employer, and we are considering ourselves to be inferior to that, and we believe that if this thing gets attached to our brand, then somehow we'll have more perceived value in the society. But the thing is that if you're coming from a place of inferiority or an insecurity, even if we get that thing, we'll continue to feel inferior or insecure. That thing won't give you that feeling of security because that is not what your self-concept is. Unless you change your self-concept and think about yourself in a much more empowered way, only then you can feel secure. And that would be independent of whatever channel or whatever brand that is getting associated to you. Your sense of security should come from within and not from something that is outside of you. Because whatever that is outside of you may leave at one point. But if your sense of security is coming from within, that will stay with you forever. So always focus on shifting your self-concept and shifting your belief systems about yourself and thinking about yourself in a much more empowered way, thinking about yourself in a much more secure way, thinking about your source and your connection to the source in a much more secure way, and that will help you feel much more secure than anything else that is outside of you can. So focus on shifting your self-concept and instilling much more empowering beliefs about yourself and continue acting from that space of security, from that space of faith. Once you have detached yourself from a particular channel or you need to have things work out in a very particular way, that is when you are ready to move into the fourth step of the process. And the fourth step of the process is for you to overcome the fear. I have already made an entire video about how you can overcome your fears. I'll link to that video over here and also in the description box below. But the idea of this step is to just get to the bottom of the fear. So whatever you are having a desperate need for, it is coming from a space of fear. So in this step, all you need to do is to overcome that particular fear. So you try and get to the bottom of the fear. At every step you will ask yourself, so what? So for example, if you want to have a particular amount as your bank balance, you will ask yourself, so what if I don't have that particular amount? So suppose the answer that comes to your mind is that, well, that will mean that I won't be able to afford this particular lifestyle, or it will mean that I won't be able to afford this particular thing. And then again you will ask yourself, so what? And you will try to process it in your own way. So I'll highly recommend you to watch that particular video and then just get comfortable about the worst possible outcomes. So in every situation there are a wide range of possible outcomes, right? Things might go exactly the way you planned. Things might go even better than how you planned it to. Things might not go exactly how you planned it as well. But whatever may be the situation, if you can look at the worst possible outcome and still convince yourself that you will be okay, then you will no longer be able to allow that particular fear to control you. And that is when you would know that you have been able to master that particular fear. And it's a continuous process. This fear might change its form and appear in a different way again in our life. And again we'll sit with it and get to the bottom of it and then convince ourselves that we'll still be okay. And you will keep going. Once you have overcome this particular fear that is causing you to feel desperate, that is when it is a good time for you to move into the fifth step of the process. The fifth step of the process is for you to understand the underlying emotional need. So for example, if your desire is to have more money or to have a better relationship or to have a particular job or to have a particular health condition, whatever may be the case, the underlying need could be that you want to feel more secure about yourself. You want to feel more secure in your being. So what you would need to do right now is to choose the right thoughts that will help you feel your emotional needs right now itself. So the right thoughts could be something like, since I'm a divine child of this abundant universe, it's natural and normal for me to have large sums of money. Or the right thought could be something like, since I'm a divine child of this healthy universe, health is my natural state of being. It's natural and normal for me to have perfect health condition. Or the right thought could be something like, since I'm a divine child of this powerful universe, it's natural and normal for me to have a successful career, to have a powerful and impactful career. And if your area of concern is with relationships, then you can affirm to yourself that since I'm a divine child of this loving universe, it's natural and normal for me to be loved. And so on. So in this step, your focus should be on choosing the right thoughts and beliefs so that you can fulfill those underlying emotional needs immediately. Because our emotions are fully dependent on our thoughts, and the nature of the emotions that we feel depend on the nature of the thoughts that we are having. So anytime we want to feel differently, all we need to do is to take a look at the thought that we are having and then look at ways in which we can shift those thoughts. And this is extremely important because we live in a vibrational universe. Every emotion that we produce has a particular vibration, and whatever emotions or vibrations we radiate are the emotions that we tend to attract. So it's very important to take care of our emotions, the energy that we are radiating, and the frequency at which we are vibrating, because that determines the experience that we tend to attract in our life as well. And you need not get overwhelmed about any of this, because the next step that I am going to talk to you guys about is the most powerful step, and that's the one that can help you feel a lot of relief, and that is to ask divine for help. Just have a very heart to heart open conversation with the divine, with the universe, with your higher self, and they'll be able to guide you best. So just have a very open conversation with the divine and then ask divine for guidance. You can just ask the divine to show you the way, guide you, give you the strength, give you the wisdom, help you be at the right place at the right time doing the right things, and just make it flow through you effortlessly. Now with all the steps that we took so far, now is the time when we get to the last step of the process. And the last step of the process is for you to act with faith. Now the immediate reality that you're still seeing might still have all those problems and all those things that used to trigger you. But that is where you should choose to believe. Choose to believe that all the internal work that you did will show up no matter what. So you might say something like, I know that in the current reality I do not have this particular thing that I desire, but in the reality that I'm consciously choosing to create right now, this is what exists. And choose to focus entirely on that particular reality. This reality exists, this is fine, this is just a shadow of all of our past thoughts, beliefs and actions. Just let it be and focus on the new reality that you're now creating. This is what you should be entirely focusing on and expecting in your life. And then come back to the present moment and focus on what you can control. Whatever that is not in your control, trust that the universe will take care of it. You should focus on what is there in your control and give that your 100%. Give that your best possible effort. And at any point, if you feel scared, if you feel jittery, you can use a powerful open prayer. You can use the emotional freedom technique, EFT tapping. I have created videos on all of those topics, and you can check those in my channel below. And I cannot stress enough on the fact how powerful all of these techniques are. There are so many situations in my life that I've overcome just by doing a full EFT tapping session or a Ho'oponopono surrendering prayer, or sometimes combining multiple techniques and then just using all of those techniques to help me move forward. And these techniques are very powerful, and I promise you these work. All of these techniques that we have discussed so far in our channel are all the techniques that I have personally used in my life and I have found to be really effective. So use all of these techniques to your advantage. Give yourself the best chance to putting your best foot forward and also giving your best shot at all of the opportunities that life is presenting you with. And leave the rest to the divine. So in this step, you would purely focus on what is in your control and focus on doing all of those things. And take care of your vibration, take care of your energy. Make sure you're staying aligned to your goals, staying aligned to your desired reality, and keep continuing to act from that space of faith and that space of security. And then trust that things will play out in a way that reflects your highest good and in a way that reflects the highest good of all. So that's all I have for you guys today. I know that today's video was quite long, but I hope that you found this video to be valuable. And if you did, do not forget to hit the like button below, and also let me know in the comment section below about what are your takeaways from this particular video. I look forward to hearing from you. Sending a lot of love and peace towards each and every one of you. Thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, take care and bye.